Today, the trans athlete competing in the California Women's High School Track and Field Championship won 2 events. The meet drew national attention after criticism from President Trump.
When do we start hating women? I'm so confused right now on why this is such a big deal. There is literally right now kids in China. I saw a video. Kids in China were taking apart glass. I mean, these kids had to be maybe 10, 11 years old. They were taking apart Glocks and putting them together. So in China, you have young kids that are able to disassemble and assemble weapons. So by the time they are of military age, they have weapons and some sort of combat training. And yet in America, we have fierce conversations if men can have babies. Why is this even a debate? If you're a trans, by all means, live your life. I feel like the American people don't care. They don't care if you want to be trans. They don't care. Now, there's things that, we do care about, okay? And if you're 18 and you decide to say, hey, you know what? I want to be a leaf, or I want to be a blade of grass, or I want to be a butterfly. But be your butterfly. You be a butterfly. Do what you want to do. If you want to start feeling like another man, if you're born a girl and you want to be a man or vice versa, cool, no problem. The American people don't care. But here's when we start caring. Okay? Here's where we start caring. We care when you start, you're a man and all of a sudden you want to be a girl and you want to be going to the girls' bathrooms. That's something that we don't like. Or you're a teacher who's trans and wants to teach kids the trans way, or read them all these books that they should not be reading. Parents should be dictating the kids' knowledge as well as the teachers with the teachers' help. But it's the parents that should be making these decisions for these kids, not the teachers. And another big thing to touch on is when you decide that, you know what, even though I'm born a man and I feel like a woman, I want to go into women's sports. When did that even start becoming an issue? Why are we having debates about this? They are literally divided for a reason. Men have their sports, women have theirs. Because if men start joining women's sports, guess what? It doesn't become a women's sport anymore. It becomes a man's sport because men are just dominant. They're more physically gifted. They're stronger. That's why women have their own sport. I think any woman who is a collegiate, high school, collegiate, professional knows this. But you hear from the Democrats all the time that if we don't allow trans in women's sports, we're not inclusive. So what? They're not women. You can identify as whatever you want to. We don't care. The American people care about the economy, their bills. That's what they care about. But don't start trying to invade or integrate yourself into a women's sport. That's all we're saying. It is not fair for that girl who at a young age was playing softball or playing soccer or playing volleyball. And now all of a sudden you have a man or you have a boy that says, hey, you know how to be a girl. I'm not doing good in my boy sport, so hey, I'm a girl now. And now all of a sudden you start beating all the women. You start doing all these great things. Why is that trans hate? I don't understand that. I got called transphobic the other day. I said, why? I don't have no problem with trans people, but I just don't like when they're trying to go into women's sports. Like, imagine if you had a daughter, okay? You're a grown man, you have a daughter, and all of a sudden there's a grown-ass 30-year-old man in the bathroom with a blonde wig. Talk about, yeah, I'm a woman. What? How is that okay? Just because you feel like something doesn't mean it happens. I check my bank account every day. I feel like a billionaire. Guess what? I'm not. I would love to be. I feel like one. But for some reason, Chase is telling me otherwise. Women have their safe space, okay? Bathroom sports. Let them have that. Now, maybe the conversation needs to be, let's just say there's a transgender league. Maybe there should be a transgender league so that way it's fair for anybody who wants to transition or to change or whatever, they feel like there's something else. By all means, cool. But there needs to be some type of league because it's not fair for you to join the women. Women are great athletes. They're amazing people, and they, at a young age, try to do some type of sport, whether it's track and field or volleyball, whatever. They're practicing at a young age to try to be a professional in that. And yet imagine a young girl's dream being taken away because a boy decides to be a girl. And now all of a sudden he starts winning all the awards. He starts winning all the trophies. And that girl's dream is now crushed because of how you feel. Thank God you have someone like Riley Gaines who has seen this, who has lived through this, who is speaking up and saying, this is not right. Women deserve to compete against women. It's already hard enough as a woman competing against other women. Being a swimmer or being a soccer player or whatever, you have great competition in women. Imagine a man who's stronger and faster than you. Yet Simone Biles, who's the most accomplished gymnast ever, said it's okay. But she wasn't saying that when she was competing. How would she feel if there was a man that was kicking her butt in all the gymnastics meets? Would she still be okay with it? No, she's not doing it anymore. So guess what? She speaks on it. She wants to be inclusive now, but she wasn't inclusive when she was competing. Look at that double standard. Now Riley Gaines has to be attacked 24/7 for speaking the truth. For some reason, Republicans get attacked for saying women need to be competing against women, and now we're transphobic because we say the same thing? It doesn't make any sense. So I know Riley Gaines is getting attacked right now, but someone needs to stick up for her. And I'm glad that some of the Republicans are, but Riley Gaines, thank you. Okay? You're saying the hard part out loud. You're saying the easy part out loud, but for some reason, Democrats don't want to hear it. And if you're a trans person, again, I am not anti-trans. I am just trying to go into women's sports, trying to go into women's bathrooms, trying to teach kids about trans without their parents' permission. Those are only the three things I'm against. If you want to be a trans, do whatever you want with your body, by all means, do what you do. I don't care. I don't think the American people care. It's just once you start trying to do the extra step and start competing against women, which is not fair, let's just say it is like it is. It is not fair for a man to compete in women's sports. It should never happen. Every state should ban that. We should not even have these conversations. I don't even know why this is even a debate. The Democrats need to wake up and stop pushing these things that are just trendy. They're trying to jump on any little trend to seem cool. So I really hope that we can actually go back to the issues that matter and just stop talking about this, that it needs to be a statewide ban that men cannot be in women's sports. End of story, period. There's no more talking about it. It's a done deal. There's so many countries around here that are not even, you think you can go to North Korea and say, hey, I want to be trans? You think you can go to North Korea and say, hey, I want to play in a women's sport? America is so free that we're having debates that countries can't even dream of talking about. That's how free America is. The Democrats and all these crazy people need to wake up.